Alright. In this video, I want to talk about idols and idolatry real quick, as it refers to the Roman Catholic Church, which claims to be the one true church, the church started by Jesus and the apostles. But when we go over here and look at the Acts of the Apostles, let's read something here and see if this lines up with what we see from Catholicism. This is Acts 17. Starting with verses 24 and 25, it says, God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worshipped with men's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath and all things. And then let's line that up also with verse 29 here. And I'll move it because I know there's a watermark. Somebody told me about another program I could use, but when I went to download it, some of the files didn't work. So I'm working on that. So I still got to use this screen capture program for now. And it says here at verse 29, For as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone, graven by art and man's device. So we see here, looking at just these three verses here from Acts 17, that a church building made with man's hands is not the house of God. God doesn't dwell there. As you should know as a Christian, that you as a Christian are made the temple of God, where he dwells in you. And when you have to make images of things that's in heaven, you are insulting God. That's why they call him the invisible God, because there's nothing worth bringing up to actually represent him. Right? So even though you make a very beautiful graven image of him that looks very much like a real man or woman, that is not in any way able to be compared to God. The way I like to demonstrate what these idols are is if you saw a stone and you took some paint or some mud and you put a smiley face on that rock and you said, this is Jesus, this is what I use to visualize Jesus and to pray and to meditate, and you bow down to it, that's no different than you making a really good sculpture of Jesus, right? Or a very good painting of Jesus. Yeah, we are to walk by faith, not by sight. God doesn't use the work of men's hands, the things that we create. He doesn't need them. Just like he doesn't need the bread and the wine. Again, that's the work of man's hands to make the bread and the wine. And then the words of man, abracadabra, hocus pocus, there turns it into God, right? It's all idolatry. But none of that is needed, right? As I'll read over again, starting at verse 24. God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands, neither is worshipped with men's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth life to all and breath in all things. Then going to verse 29. For as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold, silver, stone, graven by art and men's devices. And this would also be, marble, clay, wood, plastic, whatever you're making your idols out of. And you may call them icons. You can call them icons and you can say your worship is veneration. You're just deceiving yourself. You're not deceiving anybody else. Right? We know what you're doing. You quack like a duck, walk like a duck, you're a duck. You can say you're not a duck all you want, but we know what a duck is. Right? You fool yourself, and those who are going along fooling themselves with you, but you're just the blind leading the blind into a ditch. So with that being said there, yeah, even though you may be looking at this picture here saying, oh, these are all pagan deities. Well, all the Catholic Church did was take pagan deities like Mithra and put Jesus on it. Took the Queen of Heaven, Diana, and called her Mary. Took the god of safe travels and the god of protection and made it the saint of protection and the saint of safe travels. All they did was take pagan deities and depictions and put Christian names on them. And then instead of there being idol worshiping, it's now icon venerating, right? They just repackaged idolatry, and a good lot of you buy into it. And you become superstitious thinking that these objects that you made have some, or someone else made, are holy and blessed and has some kind of secret power, so that if somebody destroyed your idol of Mary, that's some kind of bad omen or something, right? And it's some kind of sacrilege, when all they did was break a piece of stone or plaster or whatever it's made out of, right? With that being said, I just wanted to make a quick video talking about that. So thanks for watching, and take care.